welcome to Craft TV. I'm Fi, the Chief Crafty Lady here, and in this episode we are going to make a beautiful fabric ball, one for the Christmas tree to last for years to come. Let's get started. So now's our chance to gather all of the things that we need for this project. And if you've been given a craft box, then you will find it in the Christmas Mega Craft Box and the Elves Craft Box. So you will need a pair of scissors that can cut fabric, your styrofoam ball, which is probably the sort of smaller one of the ones in your pack, a very small cocktail skewer, and some material. And you would have two types, so you can alternate and get this sort of pattern. So I'm just going to show you the technique and describe some of the tips and help you put these hanging ribbon on. So let's prepare our squares, and you want to make them nice and big, okay? So they look like they cover a lot of area. Cut up as many as you like, or cut them a little bit at a time. It's easier to cut them in strips and then carefully cut into squares. So just to give you a guide, that would be about 3 centimeters by about 3 centimeters. Okay, so it's about 2 fingers width for me, but might be 3 for you if you've got smaller hands. Now, grabbing our ball here, we're going to use the pointy end and poke a hole. Let's try and get that in focus. There we go. And you only want to push it in about that much, okay? So we're not talking pushing it in this much or even this much. We're not having kebabs, guys, but just a little bit, okay? About 1 centimeter, all right? So that's the hole that I've made there, but just give that a bit of a practice, okay? Maybe in the same hole so you don't have too many holes there. Alright, so I've got a hole there. Now, we're going to grab one of our fabric squares, and you can either choose to do it pattern down or pattern up. Let's see what happens. So I'm putting my thumb here so that when I put the other one on top, I remember where the hole is, okay? So I turn around the skewer and it's the blunt end, okay? And I'm going to push, a little bit of a twist if you want, but push, okay? Now, just to let you know, I'm only pushing in this much. It should not be so hard that you're forcing it in, because you've already made that nice little pointy puncture from earlier. So I'm going to try again and then twist so I can feel where the hole is and push. So one of the pitfalls is punching too deep, punching too hard, okay? And suddenly your styrofoam ball turns into half a styrofoam ball. I mean, you can glue it together, but it's probably just easier to space out your holes, so not so closely together, and then that way you won't have a disaster where it falls apart. So let me show you an example of what is too far and too deep. So if I've push that in and I measure it from here. Oh, that's way too much. Okay, this is another indication if you're going too far. I go to push it in now, and this is another bad thing to do. Push really hard. Oh, okay, that was pretty bad. Okay, I can't get it out now. All right, that one's lost into the world of fabric ball planet. Okay, all right. So a few more other mistakes. Let's see what happens if we use the pointy bit. Yeah, it's not too bad, but what might happen is when you pull it out, the fabric might come back out with it. All right, let's try going really close together. Okay, all right. So I'll stab and then push. And do a few more of these. See how close I'm going? Like that's really close up against the other one there. I'm going to pull these out so you can see, okay, what's happening. Look at that. So what tends to happen is a bigger hole forms, and you don't want that because it's basically going to be all covered in holes and then it'll fall apart. So stick to your little rule of only ever pushing in about that much, okay? It's like as long as your fingernail, I guess. Depends on how long your fingernails are, I guess. Alright, so there's a few tips there. I'll leave you to it. And if you have two colours, you can alternate them or even create a letter out of them. Or you can even do bands of alternating colours so they look like rings. Yeah. Happy to hear your creative spin on this material ball, but your Christmas tree is going to look pretty darn nice, I think. Okay, stay tuned for the next video, which is how to put on the final bit to hang it.